Action. Hi, John the Van Guy. This is my grandson, Ethan.
Hello.
Hello, says Ethan. Right, okay. Now Ethan's come to watch. This is my Porsche 986 S 2004. One of the last 986s made. Now, what I need to do, the problem is the front suspension strut, the bearing, and I'll show you the new bearing is here. Or at least it was. Oh, it's here. That's the new bearing. Right. The old bearing has actually disintegrated, and I'll show you where that sits. Picture of it under here. And Ethan, could you hold the torch?
Yep.
And shine it under there. And up so they can actually see it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. So you can see where it's come apart on there. So every time you go over a bump, basically the thing, you have this horrible knocking. So thank you. So he's a very good assistant. Right, so what we're going to do now, there's a few things. I don't want to take the strut out of the car, so there is a way to do this without having to remove the strut or even compress the spring. I've done this before when I was messing around with front suspension struts, but this is basically how you do it. And just a quick review of that. I've done a video on this before, just on this, but not getting the nut off. Right, okay, down here, what you need to do, you need a jack to support the suspension, okay? Now you want to be able to drop this whole suspension strut, drop the whole assembly. Now the way to do that, there's three things. 4 things you've got to remember when you're actually doing it. You can actually unbolt these. I think they're 10mm bolts. This one holds the brake sensor on. This one holds the brake line. You don't undo the brake line, just undo the actual mountings. Another 10mm there. There's a sway bar. The sway bar, if I can take you through that. Where is it? That's the sway bar. I've undone it already. The sway bar. I've got the thing under tension at the moment to jack the suspension up. Sway bar came off quite nicely once you've jacked it up. Now this is the suspension arm underneath. Now for this, what you need on the suspension arm, you could actually shine the torch through there.
Yeah.
Just it might help a little bit. Through the suspension arm, you will see there's a bolt that goes through there. I think it's an 18 at one end and a 16 at the other. I've got these excellent kits, excellent from my Helfer's toolkit, and you've got to loosen that. Now loosen it, it's under tension, just loosen it. So the arm itself, this arm, will be able to drop once you undo the top nut. Okay, so that's 1, 2, sway bar, and that. 3, 4 things you've got to do. Now coming back up here, you can see the suspension nut. I've already managed to loosen it, but I had a real problem trying to loosen it. They tend to seize on and they can be difficult to get off. They have inside, it's like hexagonal invaginated nut inside. That's the top of the suspension strut. The trouble is, if you turn the nut itself, you turn the whole suspension strut. So what people do is they use a torque drill, and I've got the torque drill down here, and that with a 21 socket, and I tried it, didn't have any effect at all, everything just turned, so as kind of I expected. So another way is, while you're doing it, somehow hold the center shaft with an Allen key. Now the Allen key, okay, you can do that. So there's an Allen key here. You put the Allen key in there and hold it like that while you find a way of turning the nut. Well, that didn't work, okay? So tried a few various options, and then using my lovely big Helfer's kit, came up with a lovely idea. And I must admit, I had a clue from the internet of somebody doing this, of this particular approach. What you need is a swan neck spanner, ring spanner, which will just sit in here on the nut, and that holds it nice and firm. Right, now if you want to take the center, if you want to hold a center shaft, a way to do it, rather than just use the Allen key, go to your lovely kit, get this out of the way, and get it. And here we have the Allen key equivalent, a number 7. Use that with what did I use? Was it that? I think it was that one, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh no, it's that one. Oh, what did I do? Was it that? Ah, it's that one. Oh, from the kit, I could use the Allen key equivalent using that. And now, this is going to give me enough purchase with the big ratchet on there. So I'll put that in there, so it sits nicely in there. Then I get my big ratchet. Now, where's my big ratchet? Oh yes, there's my big ratchet. Look at that. Whoa-ho-ho-ho. Here it goes, folks. Now, put that in there. Now, when you think about it, which way do you want to go? If the nut's going clockwise, I want to turn the shaft. No, if the nut's going anti-clockwise, and let's take it off, I want to turn the shaft the other way, clockwise. That's it. So now, holding the two together, I find, if you could hold that, can you put your arm through? And now I can hold it tight.
Okay.
And I'm pulling it and it's moving. And in fact, I can tell you it's moved and it's starting to come off. And so now we have a way of getting the top nut off. And hey, so with Ethan's help, we've actually achieved a great thing for humanity. Right, okay, now what we're going to do is we can drop, what I can do now is drop the jack. Once I've taken the nut off, if I drop the jack, the whole suspension should drop down. When you think the spring was under tension, but once I drop it down, the tension is lost. And that should help me. The top hat stays in, and that should drop this whole shaft down to give me enough room to put the new bearing on. What I'm going to do anyway is replace the top hat as well while I'm at it, since I've got it. And the idea then, once you've done all that, I'll put everything back and it should technically go for a realignment. And so, and you obviously put the nut back and tighten all the things up you've taken off. Remember the brake line, the sensor, oh yeah, and that back bolt, is it the 16 and the 18, the back bolt, that it was loosened. Now what you've got to do is have it under tension, so you lift up with the jack, because you don't want to damage the bushes. So you don't want to tighten up while the whole thing's dropped. So you want the things should be under tension when you're actually tightening up that bolt and nut. Okay, at the back. So you've done that on the sway bar, put the sway bar back, and then you're done. So it's bye from me, and it's
bye from Ethan Hawes that lived here.
Well, he's here for now anyway.
Yeah, just joking.
Okay, bye folks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.